How's it going, everybody? It is Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus the Smasher over here in the RU tier. So, just going to lead off with my Gigalith. It's going to be especially defensive with Stealth Rocks, Toxic, Stone Edge, and Earthquake, as the Smasher leads off with the Rotom-Mow. And Rotom-Mow could just fire off a Leaf Storm, or I guess just Bull-Wisp me, and half my attack, but since I do have my Florges in the back with Aromatherapy, I'm good to go. And I just fire off a Stone Edge right there, just get some chip damage off. It would be nice to weaken Rotom a little bit, and whatever he wants to bring in. I was kind of expecting maybe a Volt Switch as well, just expecting me to maybe want to switch out. So now I get my rocks up as he brings in the Gligar, and I expect Rotom to be the defogger on the team. I don't expect Gligar to be the defogger. Usually when I play Smasher, Gligar is going to be like some sub-toxic sets. So usually that can't really touch my Steelix, but we'll see. I just want to scout first and go into my Mandibuzz, as I expect maybe an Earthquake to pop out, but he just goes for the knockoff. Gets rid of my Leftovers, which kind of sucks. But since Mandibuzz is pretty freely to just go for a knockoff, and I'm not really scared of Toxic since I do have Aromatherapy in the back with my Florges, I should be good to go, just fire off a knockoff. As in comes the Rotom-Mow, and just goes straight for the Z move right there, the Bloom Doom, on my Mandibuzz. So that was a pretty risky play, because obviously I would not want to take a Volt Switch, or a Thunderbolt, so I switch out, and I just go to Florges. So he gets a nice Bloom Doom off on my Florges, but luckily Florges is so dang bulky, especially defensive, and yeah, I'm not even running any EVs in special defense. I'm running EVs in a speed, defense, and HP. That's why Florges is so bulky naturally in special defense. So I just go for the Wish. Well, actually I go for Aromatherapy first, because I know Rotom-Mow can't really do much, and I can just Wish up next turn or whatever. But at the same time, I don't want to get knocked off, so I'm just going to go for Protect first and get a little bit more chip with Leftovers, as he just goes for the Substitute, and he just pretty much dodges any kind of like Moonblast or stuff like that. And I do not want to get knocked off, pretty much. I'm just going to go on my Steelix over here. And I expect the Gligar to pretty much be like Toxic, Roost, Substitute, and Knockoff. Like, that's what I'm expecting it to be. Like, no Earthquake. Since I've played Smasher before, and I think he's brought that, like, same set. So, pretty much I'm free to go for a Curse over here with Mega Steelix, and honestly, just, like, break through something. He can't really beat Mega Steelix with the Gligar at all, so I guess he just realizes that and switches out into Rotom, and I do not want Rotom to come in for free, so that's why I Heavy Slam right there. Could've went for another Curse, expecting him to maybe want to stay in, and I can just like get some more attack, but I really don't need it. +1 attack is just enough, and plus I just need to knock out something, and yeah, pretty much he can just revenge kill me with a Blastoise coming in right there. But I bring in my Florges, as Florges should be able to take anything Blastoise wants to go for, as you know, Mega Blastoise, even though they do run like modest max special attack, it is not enough to potentially two-shot a Florges, as he just throws off the Scald right there. And Florges luckily did not get burnt, as I can get some more Leftovers recovery, and I can go for Protect, because if you got that burn right there, that would suck. As he just goes for the Rapid Spin, trying to get those Stealth Rocks off the field that I laid up. So I guess maybe he doesn't have Defog on the Rotom. Maybe he just like Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Leaf Storm, and Will-O-Wisp. So he could also just be Defog and Rapid Spin, I've seen on some teams. So to go for the Wish right there, and now I can Protect with my Florges and get it back to max HP to wall all his special attackers. And actually I just go for a Moonblast. I didn't really need to go Protect. I guess Protect would be the safer play, but I guess I would be out of range of anything Mega Blastoise wants to go for, and I expect him to probably want to switch out right there. So now I go into Steelix, as I know Steelix should easily just like destroy Gligar. Like, there's nothing you can really do with no Earthquake, and even if you did have Earthquake, it would barely do anything to Mega Steelix, since Mega Steelix is so dang bulky. So now he brings in the Blastoise. I kind of figured he would want to switch out. Like, he knows I have Curse, so that's why I'll go for the Earthquake there. Predict him to want to go into Blastoise and weaken it, and pretty much just further me speeding up the game pretty much, because this team is really, really bulky, and it just takes a long process to potentially wear down a team if you don't bring in Stoutland and just keep hitting a team hard. Since this team does have Banded Stoutland, and it hits pretty hard with Adamant, and I always like to use that in RU tier. But yeah, I'm going to Florges on the Blastoise and just go for Aromatherapy, get rid of that burn, as he brings in Linoon. Now, Linoon could be a problem, but luckily I do have Mega Steelix, which Mega Steelix could potentially knock Linoon out if he's running like I'd say not a lot of HP. Like usually Linoon standard set would run HP, but he could not be running any HP. And plus, Stomping Tantrum doesn't one-shot me as well, which is pretty nice. And yeah, that's why I also have Mandibuzz as well to hopefully take it as Extreme Speed and hopefully knock out Linoon. So I just go for Heavy Slam, and yeah, he doesn't go for Stomping Tantrum. He just goes for the Extreme Speed, which I didn't expect. Maybe he's not running it. I don't know. He could be running like maybe Seed Bomb, Extreme Speed, and something else, maybe Shadow Claw. That would be like the older set that Linoon used to run, but most of the time they run Stomping Tantrum. That's like the standard set for sure. Hits more Pokemon for super effective damage. But yeah, I go on a Mandibuzz on the Zygarde just to see what he wants to do. And now I want to go into my Florges over here as he goes for the 1,000 Arrows, which I expected Dragonium Z right there. I thought he would be Z move. That's why I didn't want to go into Quagsire first off, because I was kind of scared of Dragonium Z, not gonna lie. Even though Quagsire is probably the best play, because Quagsire is kind of just there for the Zygarde, so I should have just went for that. Luckily, Florges did live that plus 1,000 Arrows though, because if I lost it, that would really suck. So, yeah, pretty much wall the crap out of Zygarde right there, and now I'm free to just fire off whatever. I just fire off a Toxic, as puts Blastoise on a timer, and pretty much just catches really anything he wants to go into, honestly. And now that Blastoise is on a timer, I expect him to probably want to, you know, go for just Scald on my Quagsire. That's why I want to go to my Gigalith right here, and Gigalith kind of is going to be the sack of choice for the Blastoise since my Florges is so dang low. Like, keeping Florges really low was a mistake on my part. I should have just went to Quagsire and the Zygarde, honestly. So, lesson learned. Always switching Quagsire and Zygarde, even though sometimes they could have Toxic or just Dragonium Z me real quick. But Quagsire could take it and just, like, you know, recover off that damage. So, just go for the Stone Edge. Unfortunately, I missed right there. But luckily, Blastoise gets knocked out by the Toxic next turn with the sand damage as well, chipping at it. But my Gigalith did get burned, and it literally lives on 1 HP, which is hilarious. So maybe I can keep the sand for later for Stoutland. So in comes Zygarde. I have an easy switch in, which is the Quagsire. Quagsire can easily just take it, even though I am still scared of Zygarde's Z move, though, because he could just fire that off. That's what I was really, really scared of. Because he could have, like, if I just switched in Quagsire on a Zygarde, he went for, like, I don't know, 1,000 Arrows and maybe Dragonium Z and crit me. That could be bad. That's what I was scared of, but I guess I should have just did that, because it would make the game a lot easier with Florges. So let's go for Recover right there. Always go for Recover so he can't whittle me down a lot. He went to Gligar, which I'm not really too scared of, but at the same time I don't want to get Toxic or knocked off, because that would really suck. So that's why I'm going to Mandibuzz over here, as Mandibuzz seemed to be able to maybe knock off the Gligar as well, get rid of its Violite, but he went into Espeon as a nice double. Goes for Dazzling Gleam. I see that it's no item, so I'm like, okay, is this Fairy Z? I don't want to catch a Fairy Z, so I actually switch out into making Steelix over here. But he goes in a Zygarde over there, so I'm like, uh-oh, that's not going to be good, because now Zygarde can just go for 1,000 Arrows. So at the same time, though, I can just easily switch into my Quagsire again. So Quagsire just literally walls the crap out of Zygarde with its Unaware ability. No matter how much he boosts up, it's not going to do anything, because I'm unaware. Like, I just don't care about your boosts. And yeah, I can just fire off some Scalds and pretty much whittle you down and recover up, Scald, fish for some burns. And yeah, sometimes you could consider this a little bit stally, but hey, I didn't make the team, so I think Solwyn made the team, which is a pretty cool team. I do say so myself, because I do like some nice sand offense in RU with Gigalith and Stoutland, so that's why I really wanted to use it. And plus, I mean, Quagsire is pretty dang good. I remember people always asking me to use some like stally Pokemon like Quagsire, so here you go. And also, I do want to try Mega Steelix out with Curse. That looked really nice. So now I bring in Mega Steelix, go for the Curse over here, and pretty much it's looking really bad for Smasher, as he does not have a good switch in at all to +1 Mega Steelix. So at this point of the game, I guess he's just going to try and beat me with Gligar, but I'm just going to keep spamming Heavy Slam at this point. And it's doing more damage than the Roost, and it's going to be a little slow process, because I'm just going to keep spamming Heavy Slam, but it's whittling him down more and more, and pretty much I'm fishing for a burn, or not a burn, a crit as well. Now I could Curse up even more, but at the same time, what if he just switches on that Curse, and I don't want that to happen. So might as well just keep going for Heavy Slam, and just fish for a critical hit as well, because each turn he's losing about like 10% as well, so he's losing the battle. So there's not really much else he could do at this point, since Mega Steelix kind of just destroys him, like I said. So he can roost up all he wants. He can maybe try and PP stall me, hope that I don't have enough heavy slams, that's the thing, but I always have my PP maxed out. I'm never going inside a battle without my PP maxed out. All 3 PPs up. So, yeah, just keep heavy slamming him. There's not, like he's not going to win this battle. Even if he Swords Dance Earthquake. That could be annoying, but I do have my Quagsire for that. Like any boosting Pokemon, Quagsire will literally wall the crap out of it. So 1 more heavy slam should do the trick. And I guess he just realized that right there as he just goes for the knockoff and knock him out right there with the last one. And then the last Pokemon should be able to not knock me out, as I'm pretty sure this is like Z-move Espeon, but he has Hidden Power, Fire, I'm guessing right there. Does not knock me out. And I go for the heavy slam. Boom. Down goes Espeon. And I'm pretty weirded out by that Espeon. I'm not too sure what kind of Espeon that was, since I expected Zygarde to be Z-move, not the Espeon. So I wonder if it was like Psychium Z or something like that. If it was Ghostium Z, it could be nice for Mega Steelix or something like that. But yeah, I was expecting it to be like Dazzling Gleam Firium Z. But yeah, Zygarde doesn't even knock me out since I have that +1 defense from the Curse. And then I heavy slam that, and down goes the Zygarde. So Mega Steelix did some work this game, literally. It knocked out Linoon, it just cursed up, broke down the Gligar, Espeon, and lived a hit from Zygarde, Earthquake that Blastoise, and pretty much, yeah, Rotom Mo wasn't really that much of a big deal, to be honest to me. So, GG to Smasher. Slow and steady wins the game. And now, next game what you got is versus Trey. And yeah, these games are very long, so sit back, relax, you know, grab some popcorn, stuff like that. So get your dinner. Okay, as well. That's what Wi-Fi battles are for. Nice long Wi-Fi battle dinners. So, Trey looks like he has some scary Pokemon like Nidoqueen. Looking at my team, I don't have a too good switch into Nidoqueen. It's Sludge Wave is my Florges, Earth Power is everything else, and Ice Beam is my Mandibuzz. So that could be a little annoying. And then he has Noivern, which could be also annoying with a Z move. I'm expecting it to be Doublade. I have Quagsire for it, so I just need to keep Quagsire for that, unless he has Toxic. That could be annoying because I only have 8 PP with Aromatherapy. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. But I do see my win cons, which is going to be getting Rocks up and then Stoutland trying to go for crunches and maybe knock out Doublade, and then I can spam Return. That is my plan. Hopefully it'll work. So he leads off with Pokedex, another Rotom, Mo, and Ryu. Those guys are everywhere, but they're really good. So he just goes for the full switch. Probably expect me to switch out, obviously, because he does think I want to take a Will-O-Wisp or a Leaf Storm. But I could take it since I am in Sand, raise my special defense a lot since I'm a Rock type, and I just fire off a Toxic. In comes Blastoise, and that is beautiful for me, putting that thing on a timer, as it takes Sand damage as well. Now, usually when I run Gigalith, I have Protect, but I didn't want to change it, as I didn't make the team, Solon did. So now I'm just going to Florges, as Florges will easily take anything Blastoise wants to go for. And even if he does have Toxic, or he could be a Rest Blastoise, which could be a little bit more problematic, though. I've seen some Mega Blastoises with Rest, and they can just rest off all that damage and Toxic, but at the same time, they have to have like Rest, Sleep Talk, and then they really want to have like Water Pulse or Scald, and then the last move, maybe Ice Beam, I would say. But then Blastoise loses out that Dark Pulse or Aura Sphere coverage as well that it really likes, and it makes it really, really good offensively. So I just go for the Wish right there, as Florges is taking a little bit of Sand damage, a little weakened, but that's totally fine with me since I should be able to still switch in on the special attackers on his team. As I wanted to go into Stoutland over here, since I should be able to take anything Nidoqueen wants to go for, and if I do take damage, I have the Wish about to pop off, but he just goes for the Stealth Rocks right there. So now I get off this Banded Crunch on something, hoping that Doublade comes out, but he brings in the Cresselia, and that does absolutely nothing since Cresselia is so dang bulky. It literally just sits there and takes hits for days. So I'm going to switch out over here since I'm not going to really do much to Cresselia with another Crunch, as Cresselia can just like Toxic and Moonblight me, and that'll just be annoying, as Cresselia just throws off the Toxic as I go into Gigalith. Wanted to go into Gigalith since my Gigalith can potentially maybe get up Rocks and maybe even throw off a Toxic on something. But I do expect maybe the Doublade to want to come out over here, so that's why I do want to get up Rocks over here, because if I go for a Toxic, and also the Blastoise is already Toxic, so I don't really need a Toxic anymore. So in comes the Doublade as I get up Rocks. And that's really nice for me, because if he wants to get rid of those Rocks, he has to Rapid Spin with his Blastoise, which is Toxic, and it'll take a lot of damage. Or if he has Defog on the Rotom Mo, which will take maybe sand damage, and potential rock damage. So I bring in Quagsire as he goes for the Swords Dance, but that's not going to do anything as I am unaware. And I can just fire off a nice Scald, maybe even an Earthquake or a Toxic. But I do kind of expect Rotom to want to come out, so that's why I'm a little scared of the Rotom wanting to come out, because I can't really do too much, but I might as well just go for the Scald and maybe fish for a burn if it does come out. But he does bring in Blastoise. Now here I make a really risky play. I really do expect him to want to go for the Rapid Spin, so that's why I stay in over here, expecting him to not want to go for a Water Pulse, and I go for the Earthquake. I could have easily switched from the Florges, but at the same time I was like, yeah, he's just going to go for the Rapid Spin. I know for a fact. I get a crit right there, which I don't think mattered, since he would probably just go down to the Toxic next round, I'm pretty sure, after the Earthquake damage, since most Blastoises are offensive. Maybe he was max HP. But Quagsire Stab Earthquake hits like a truck as well, since it's Stab. I mean, it doesn't hit that hard, but I mean, it's a stab move. It should go down from the Blastoise's range. So I just go to Florges on the Rotom. Whittles me down with that Volt Switch, and then in comes the Nidoqueen, which is just scary since I don't have a switch into this, and he already has his rocks up, so you already know he's going to claim a life over here. So I go for Protect, get some more Leftovers chip as he throws off the Ice Beam. Probably expect me to want to go into like Mandibuzz or something like that, or even Steelix, as obviously I would be scared out by a Sludge Wave, so he probably wants to hit whatever can take a Sludge Wave. But I wanted to go into Gigalith over here, since Gigalith seemed to be the sack of choice, the most expendable member on my team. Since it was poisoned, I can go for the Aromatherapy, but it was getting weakened, and it kind of doesn't really beat much on his team, except get the Sand up, which is very nice versus his team. But now I bring in my Stoutland over here, and he makes a nice play going in Doublade over here. I really thought he would expect Crunch again, but I guess he probably thought I would go for a turn, or he knew that he would take maybe a Crunch or two, which might have been able to take a Crunch or two, since Doublade is so dang bulky with a Violite. So now I go into my Quagsire as I just easily wall the Doublade, and he could capitalize on that, predicting Quagsire to come out on the Doublade, but I guess he doesn't want to predict that. So I just go for a Toxic and predict him to want to switch out into the Rotom, and putting that on a timer is really nice as well. And yeah, chipping it away with the Sand and the Toxic damage allows Quagsire to pretty much like start walling anything that wants to boost up, even though that Nidoqueen is still a problem. So now I go into Steelix over here, since Steelix seemed to be able to maybe take anything Rotom wants to go for, barring if it's a Z move, Grass Team Z, but I expect the Noivern to want to be like Z move. I expect maybe Rotom to be like the Pinch Berry, or maybe a Scarf set, or even Specs. But judging on that damage, I don't think it's Specs, as he does switch up moves right there anyways, so he's not going to be scarfed or locked into anything. So I wanted to go into Florges right there, as I should be able to take anything that the Rotom wants to go for, since it lowered his special attack by 2 from Leaf Storm. And even though he missed Burn right there, I would have maybe just Aromatherapy anyways later on. So it will just negate Leftovers recovery, but I have Wish, and I really will just like stay in and protect and Wish. Like, he brings in Doublade and then doubles into Rotom, expecting Quagsire to come out right there, so nice prediction on his part, but at the same time, I'd rather just get Florges back to max HP, and then I'll just go for the Aromatherapy at this point. So I am no reason to switch out, so I just stay in, and honestly he can just bring in Nidoqueen if he wants to, but he didn't. So maybe I was scared of like Psychic, because I think Florges does learn Psychic, but nobody runs that on a Wish Protect set. And he brings in the Cresselia, which is like, okay, interesting. That wouldn't really appreciate a Moonblast, but at the same time I understand it, because Cresselia does probably want to talk to me. But at the same time, this allows me to go into my Steelix over here, and Steelix gets that nice Wish that I threw off with my Florges. So Steelix is back to almost max HP, and over here I wanted to fire off a Heavy Slam, as I expect him to probably want to switch out. Expect me to maybe want to go for an Earthquake, or actually he doesn't even expect me to go for an Earthquake, because Cresselia has Levitate. Maybe he was expecting like a Toxic or something like that from Steelix, or maybe even Stealth Rocks as well, since I don't have them up anymore since he Rapid Spin them away. So Nidoqueen takes that Heavy Slam, unfortunately, and then I die to the Earth Power right there. I was really hoping that maybe Nidoqueen will get one shot, but Nidoqueen is so dang bulky, so I am running Adamant Steelix as well, with a lot of special defense. So now I go to Stoutland. I know he's offensive, so I calced it to see, and I was praying that he cannot knock me out. The only way he can knock me out was with Modest Life Orb, and I'm thinking that it's like even a roll as well, I'm pretty sure I remember. So It was really my favorite to live a hit from Earth Power. And I think he was modest Life Orb, judging on that damage, and he was like, it was like a half and half, 50% chance to knock me out. So luckily Stoutland lived, or else Nidoqueen will probably just swept my entire team if it knocked out Stoutland. And what he could have done was maybe switched out Nidoqueen on my Stoutland and saved it for later, as where maybe I would have to switch out my Stoutland and take another round of Stealth Rocks to the point where it would be 100% guaranteed to knock me out with Earth Power. But I guess he didn't think about that. So, yeah, nice for me, so that Nidoqueen doesn't have to demolish my entire team since everything is so dang slower. So, yeah, anyways, Florges is out versus the Noivern, and I expected Noivern to want to be a Z-move since, like, what else would it be? Last time he brought Life Orb, but I remember I told him that he should definitely run Z-moves since that's the most standard and probably the best set for Noivern, as Flying Z just, like, nukes something, but doesn't nuke a Florges, as Florges just protects on it. He didn't get a crit, but that does nothing, and I just go for some wishes. So he actually stays in right there, and it goes for a Hurricane, maybe hoping for a crit or some confusion hacks, but luckily that does not happen as I get the wish off, and now I can just easily protect and not let Hurricane destroy me. So switches out, I heard that into Cresselia right there, as he probably just wants to get off a Toxic on me, which I expect. I don't have my Steelix anymore to just like literally come in on Cresselia, which kind of sucks. But at least I got rid of his Nidoqueen, which literally like destroyed me. So I'm gonna switch out my Florges into Mandibuzz, as Mandibuzz should be able to take a Toxic, and if he wants to go for Side Shock, that's fine. And plus Mandibuzz, I mean I have Roost on it, so I can keep it longer in the game as well. And I also still have my Aromatherapy PP. I haven't used much of it at all this game with Florges, so that's the plan. And also I do want to knock off some of his items. But first I want to go for the Defog, get rid of the rocks, as I hate switching in on rocks with my Mandibuzz and all my other Pokemon just chipping away at it, as he just goes for the Moonlight right there. I guess I expected me to maybe want to go for like a Foul Play or a knockoff right there and just like chip away at him. But he was like near max HP, so he didn't really have to do that. Maybe he doesn't have Moonblast or Ice Beam. Usually Cresselias might want to carry that to hit some dark types, but I guess he doesn't have that. So in comes the Rotom Moat, and I go for knockoff, and yeah, I have no item to knock it off. Maybe I already knocked it off before, but maybe this is dual Z move. I don't know, I forget. But Rotom is almost gone, so that's really nice for me. I just go into Florges over here on the Rotom as he fires off the Leaf Storm. I should be able to take that, lowers his special attack by 2, and I can just fire off another Wish. So Florges is literally walling all these special attackers, and unfortunately he doesn't get knocked down by the poison right there, as he can keep this Rotom for another day. But as long as I keep Florges healthy, I should be able to take anything. So he brings in Doublade, and honestly at this point of the game, it's looking very nice for me. Like I see my win con, he doesn't have too many breakers for my team. Like Nidoqueen being gone, it was just a huge relief for me. Noivern is probably his best bet though, since Noivern has a chance to hack me with Hurricane and Confusion, so that's what I'm still scared of. So at this point I'm just like, alright, Florges needs to stay healthy, 100%, like it just walls everything, and the next step is to probably try and Toxic the Cresselia to the point where, yeah, it was like, there's nothing Cresselia can do. Like he has no way of healing it, unless he's Rest, but I don't think he's going to be Rest. So yeah, bring in Quagsire on the Doublade. I literally utterly wall that, and now I go for the Toxic. Finally Toxicking the Cresselia on the switch, and that is just very nice for me, as I know for a fact he does not want to stay in on my Quagsire with the Doublade because he can't break through it, and he doesn't want to catch a Scald or an Earthquake, since honestly Doublade is just like useless when I still have Quagsire, and he's probably going to try and Toxic me like right there, but that is not going to happen, as I do bring in Florges because Florges, I do want to go for the Aromatherapy right there, and then I want to go into Mandibuzz, as, you know, I'm just wasting more Toxic PP, because he's going to waste like maybe 2 or 3 every PP of Toxic, just trying to Toxic each of my Pokemon, and then I go for the Aromatherapy and just heal all of my Pokemon, because he's going to try and Toxic all of my Pokemon, so that's a lot of PP wasted, as where I could just keep going for Aromatherapy as he only Toxic one of my Pokemon, but that's just wasting Aromatherapy, honestly, in my head. So he brings in Noivern, as I should be able to beat this 1v1. I just go for the Moonblast right there, and he goes for the Hurricane, but unfortunately Noivern lives on a sliver of HP. I'm like, dang you, why do you have to live? So this gives him another chance to Hurricane flinch me. He goes for the Hurricane, hits me, and then lo and behold, he confuses me, and then I hit myself right there, and I'm like, oh my god, no, bad Noivern, don't do this to me. Come on now. I literally won this game. He goes for the taunt right there, reveals he's taunt as I try to wish up. So I can't wish up, and my Florges is so dang low to the point where maybe I can't take a Leaf Storm, I can't take another Hurricane, praying that I don't get confused right there. He hits another Hurricane right there. I'm confused, and I'm like, okay, please, baby, please, I love you. And then we hit that Moonblast, so down goes Noivern right there. I'm like, yes, thank the Lord. I don't have to die. Because Noivern would have went in right there with Rotom-Mow. I don't have too good switching to that. And plus, if he does have Roost as well, oof, that would suck. So he brings in Cresselia. I don't want to stay in because I'll die to a Side Shock as he just fires that off. So I bring in Mandibuzz, and I don't know if my Florges can live a hit from anything else. So this really sucks. If he starts toxicking everything, I don't know if I can get an Aromatherapy up. So now I go for the knockoff on the Crest, get rid of its item, and since it is toxic, it should go down before my Mandibuzz goes down, since he does throw off the toxic on me. But since it's badly poisoned, each single turn, it just gets worse and worse. Like, it turns to 6%, I think 12%, then it just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling. I think each 6% or something like that. Multiples by 6, maybe? I don't know, I forget. But over here, he's just going to keep Moonlighting, and I just go for some knockoffs. It's doing absolutely nothing, but really, that's what Mandibuzz is here for, to just stall out the Cresselia so that it can die to Toxic. And he can't switch out into Rotom-Mow because it'll die to the knockoff, since it's like at red HP. And he probably doesn't want to switch into Doublade on a knockoff since he'll lose his Violates. But honestly, like, I would have just maybe sacked Doublade a long time ago, because there's no way he's going to break through my team with a Quagsire on it, unless he gets rid of Quagsire. Maybe that's his plan, to get rid of Quagsire. Now, that's why Doublade really needs, like, some Toxic on there. Like, the Pokemon that get walled by Quagsire, you need to find a way to break through Quagsire, and that's why Toxic is your friend. And try and waste your opponent's way of healing Toxic, like Aromatherapy or Heal Bell. But if your opponent does have, like, Rest or just another more Heal Bellers, then that could be a lot more annoying. And especially if your opponent gets rid of your Toxicers before you can get rid of their Heal Bellers. That's also a very bad thing that can happen. So, yeah, just gonna keep roosting up and pretty much just wait until Cresselia goes down. That's how you get rid of Cresselias, man. You gotta Toxic them. All these like, yeah, you can say that Toxic Stall is a little bit boring and stuff like that. I get that. But sometimes you just gotta do that with these bulky Pokemon, and when you're running like a very, I guess, a bulky, bouncy team like this one. As sometimes you could just go for hyper offense, but I feel like a lot of people would like to see some long games like this sometimes. So that's why I'm doing that. So finally, Cresselia goes down, knock it out with the knockoff, and in comes Doublade, and Doublade can't really break through Quagsire, but I just go for the knockoff. Might as well get some nice damage up on it, speed up the process as he just goes for Sacred Sword, and I can just go down to the Toxic next turn. And I don't really need Mandibuzz anymore. As Florges, I'll just like sack that to the Rotom-Mow, as it only literally has one turn, unless it's Rest Rotom-Mow. But he's not going to be that. Unless finally he brings a Rest on every single Mon, and then I can't Toxic Stall it. But then I'll bring Hyper Offense, and then he tried to counter team like a Toxic Stall team. But this time we brought some Hyper Offense. I mean, this team is not really toxic. I mean, it's not really stall. It's like balanced, I would say, with the Stoutland. And then Cursed Mega Steelix. Like, everything is really just bulky, honestly. Quagsire is really like the only stally Pokemon, I would say, since it literally just sits there and recovers and toxics you and doesn't allow you to break through teams. That's why Quagsire is just so dang good. So Doublade trying to break through, but nope, break that. And then in comes Rotom-Mow, and I'll let him Leaf Storm me, as he'll just go down to the Toxic next turn. And at least he knocked out Quagsire. I give him that satisfaction as Quagsire just falls down and dies. So that is going to be a GG to Trey. And yeah, very long games today, but hey, hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and do your thing. And comment question of the day is, what is your favorite Stally Pokemon? This one should be good. I don't know if you guys even have a favorite Stally Pokemon, but I feel like deep down you do. Maybe it's Quagsire, maybe it's Clefable, maybe it's Chansey, maybe it's Blissey, maybe it's a Almamola. I don't know. There's a lot of Stally Pokemon. Leave it down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.